Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Two Brothers channel. I'm one brother.
Hello, everybody. And I'm the second brother. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Two Brothers channel. So back to you, Mr. Phil.
Thank you, Mr. Kinley. Look, today we're going to be looking at this topic, and this topic is a very interesting one. If you've been following us on the Two Brothers channel, you know that we like to break down these things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. What we're going to be talking about today, you will have had this experience talking to other people. You'll have, had this experience yourself, And what we're going to be talking about, without further ado, is we have met the enemy.
Hey.
And he's us. Sorry, Mr. Clay.
I said, hey, we have met the enemy. I was like, I was gonna drag it out to see if they can figure out who this enemy is. The enemies are here,
Enemies everywhere. We have met the enemy.
Enemies of progress. Enemy of prosperity. What's been holding you back all this time? You should have been sailing on the Cloud 9 sailors. What was holding you back? We met him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally met the enemy. Mr. Clay, don't drink now. Over to you.
The enemies. Wow. They've been holding you back. You should have been a lot further on than you are. They're the ones to blame. You've been looking for why. Why are things the way they are? Why haven't you made your first million yet? Why are you not billionaire? Why is it, is it, who do you think it is? Is it your uncle? Is it your auntie? No. Is it your parents? No. Is it your church members or your mosque members? No. It might be those guys in the village. That's them. The ones that nobody talks about. Those guys hiding, in between Boko Haram and kidnappers. Those ones are the ones that are your enemies. They're hiding in between Boko Haram, kidnappers. They're the ones,
Herdsmen.
Herdsmen. Yeah, they're avoiding the herdsmen as well. Yeah. They are your enemies. Those ones. Surely, Mr. Phil, it's got to be those. Those are the ones. Surely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have met the enemy, and he is us.
How dare you?
He is us.
How dare
Mr. Phil. Mr. Clay, take it away. You were saying, how dare me, please.
How dare you? What nerve? Surely nobody loves me more than I do. Surely I'm the only one that is in my own best interest. Surely if anybody's on my side, it's me. How dare you point the fingers at me? Me, that knowing how selfish you are, me, back to you, sir.
We have dragged it long enough, ladies and gentlemen, and you can see where we're going with this. You can already see where we're going with this, and you can see that, yes, the greatest enemy we found is usually us. Let's look at the macro level. Okay, no, we're going to look at it from the micro level, and if we have time, we'll look at it at the macro level as well. Because usually these things are usually the same patterns, micro and macro. It just becomes bigger. That's all it is. On the micro level, think about it. Do you know that nothing can happen to you on this planet, in this life, without you on some level agreeing to it? Oh, but they didn't take me in the job. I went for the interview and they didn't take me. But deep down, you know you didn't prepare well. Deep down, you know you didn't do what you could have done. You could have done a bit more. Deep down, you know where you failed. But you won't tell the people about that. You just say, if the government is the time, well, if you're here, they're racist. If you're in Nigeria, they're tribalists. You get what I'm saying? But what we find is that the greatest person that blocks or sabotage, that can sabotage us, is usually ourselves. And this is going to be one or two things. It's a double-edged sword. On this side, it can liberate you. On that side, it can incarcerate you. Incarcerate is another word for locking yourself up. On this side, when you take responsibility and you say, you know what? There's nothing that happens to me that I will not have a part to play in it. I was going to use an example now, but I will save that example for later because that is a deep example. But everything that has happened to me that I will call negative in my life, if I am 100% honest, I can see so many ways and instances that I have been part of the lead up to it. I can see so many, be it personal relationships, be it, let's even quickly go into personal relationships now. A lot of the things that we're finding out now, Mr. Claire was alluding to it earlier on, is that we have some people in our lives that have not been 100% nice to us. Let's put it that way, in a mild way, growing up and in our affairs and everything. Things have not gone right. But do you know what? What we have realized is that they did that because we allowed them to. You are the one that train people on how to treat you. If not, you will remove yourself. And if you remove yourself, then they can't do that to you. Have they stolen things from you? It's because you're in the environment. You could have moved. Have they lied about you? It's because you're moving out with them. Have they been nasty to you? They've spoken to you so bad. It's because you're in their environment and you've allowed them to be in your environment. I don't care who they are. You see, the amazing thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is that once you take that responsibility and you say, nothing happens to me in this world without my permission. Let me repeat this. Nothing happens to me in this world without their permission. Yes, even the so-called juju, even the so-called babalawo, one way or another, they have to collect permission from you by omission or by commission. Some of you know, don't leave your pant outside. At least in Nigeria, some of you know, don't leave your pant outside. You leave your pant outside, you're begging for it. Are you not, Mr. Clay? Over to you.
Wow. That's going deep. But I would say that, like you mentioned earlier, we train people on how they treat us. And if you look back in your relationship with others, there's been time when you've said no more, enough is enough, and this stops now. And those people's behavior change, like Mr. Phil says. They will change their behavior towards you. They will know that when it comes to you, you don't find it funny. You don't roll like that. You know, there are others that will say, well, they insist on treating you the same way. And then you say, well, it doesn't look like we're going to be in each other's company for much longer. You step, you walk away. You literally walk away from them. Now, you might say, oh, Nigeria is the way it is, or Africa is the way it is, and you're stuck. But if you actually look at Africa, the place is paradise, right? So all you have that is troubling you in Africa is other Africans, other countrymen. So then it goes back to the same rule. What is your rule of engagement? They need to know that, okay, this guy is a special breed. I cannot just interact with him anyhow. A policeman will come and slap you, which is quite, that's the first thing that they do in Africa. When the policeman wants to arrest you, he will first slap you, right?
You know why? To disorientate you first.
Thank you. Slap you, clear your leg.
To
right?
disorientate you so that your mind is not thinking. Yeah? Mr. Kile, I'll come back on that. Mr. Kile, please.
No, you're right, because they they don't want you to participate. They want you to just be like, what? It's like he cleared my leg, But if you go there expecting it, he wants to slap you. You want you're expecting it. You see, your consent is required.
It's
Back
required.
to you, Mr. Phil.
Thank you, Mr. Clare. You see, over here in the UK, Black people and the police, they don't have a very good track record of interacting with each other. And back to this consent thing. My sons growing up, I've seen me deal with the police once or twice. And every time, the result has always been positive. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Because there's a way they expect you to act as a Black man. And I don't do that. I don't do that. They come, and as they're coming, I'll be like, hello, gentlemen, how you doing today, officer? And they're like, who? I'm like, yeah, how you doing today? They're like, I think we got the wrong man. They're confused. Because my positivity hits them and they're like, are we sure we got the right person right there? I'm like, have a seat. Have a seat. Let's talk about this. And that has happened over and over and over again, because what they expect is that as they're coming, I'm like, oh, what now? What have I done? What? Is it because I'm Black? Now, a lot of people will be hearing this and they'll be thinking that I'm making fun of people that have run-ins with the police. No, I'm giving you the secret right there. If the cat don't fit, don't put your head in it. Yeah, I'm turning that saying upside down. If the cat don't fit, I don't want to be rough-handed for any reason. Let's use the Nigerian example. Like Mr. Clay said, first and foremost, you expect it. Number two, you're dealing with them is different. Okay? So, first and foremost, in Nigeria, I know they're going to want to slap me. So, my stance is different. I know they want to take me to the station. So, my strategy is different. I know they want to extract money. My strategy is different. So, first and foremost, I'll be like, hey, Oga, calm down. Waiting they happen. Waiting they happen for here. Okay, no wahala. Whatever we go sort out today. As you're talking like that, what are they gonna do? You're saying that whatever is happening, we're gonna sort it out. What are they gonna do? Slap you while you're saying you're gonna sort it out? What they want is you sorting it out. Sort it out might be you giving them money. Sort it out might be you going to the station with them. Sort it out might be, But what I'm saying is that if they manhandle you, you have to take responsibility. And you know why, ladies and gentlemen, you have to take responsibility? Because your responsibility is the only element you can control in all of this. Let me come back to it again. Your responsibility, the part you play, is the only one thing you can control in all the scenario. Everything else is out of your hand. What they're thinking, what they're gonna do, what they intend, what they're capable of, what they've done in the past, what they're gonna do in the future, all of that is out of your control. The only thing in your control is how you react to it or how you choose to react to it. However, the power only comes to you when you take responsibility. So when you take responsibility that if I am slapped, it is my fault. Oh, not Nigerian police is corrupt. Not UK police are racist. No. If I'm manhandled, it is my fault. Now, once you swallow that pill, the effect of that bitter pill is that the medicine will start working, and the medicine is you can now react and change the only element that you control, which is what you do. And that is powerful enough to affect everything else. Let me repeat that. That pill that you swallowed that was bitter, it was my fault. You swallowed it for a reason. When it gets to your body and it starts working, the effect is that you now react in a way. And that reaction that you have, that reaction now has the power to change every circumstances, every effect, everything that everyone else is thinking, and that's why and how the universe is powerful. Because the universe has put the final say in your hands. That's why the universe is amazingly powerful in its wisdom. It has let everybody think, let everybody say, let everybody intend, but the universe has put the power of the final say in your hand. That is why I keep saying it's not about good or bad. When we look at how they've enslaved us as Africans, we've been complicit. So many, you've heard things like divide and rule. If you don't let them divide you, they can't rule you. But if you're being ruled, that means you've let them divide you. It's simple. But you can miss all that and be blinkered from all that if you don't take responsibility. If you don't say, it is my fault that they're able to do this or that. It is my fault that I'm in this situation. And guess what? This is the last time I'm then going to bring Mr. Claire on. If you don't, then you've just robbed yourself of the only power you have to change the situation. If you do not accept the responsibility, you cannot change the situation. So basically, you are the one, you've locked yourself in jail and you've kept the key in your pocket. And you're saying, when am I going to be released? One day I'll be released. And the only key to open the jail door is in your pocket, Mr. Clay.
Wow, that is powerful. That is very powerful. So this part of taking responsibility is, like Mr. Phil said, you have the key in your pocket for your own release. But it does you no good in your pocket. You have to take it out of your pocket. to get yourself out of your situation. Now, when I say that, what that means is this: there must be a rule of engagement that you adhere to. So I have a plan. Okay, if the police came, what would I do? If this happened, what would I do? If that happened, what would I do? What am I? Take responsibility enough that you actually sit down and you plan for it. You plan for it. You know, one of the things that Mr. Fury always says that if you take care of the worst case scenario, if you look at what's the worst possible case, what's the worst that can happen, and you take care of that, everything else is smooth sailing. So taking responsibility, focusing on, okay, how would I handle the situation? What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? And once you've got that locked, the rest is easy. The rest is easy. So it always goes back to you. What are you accepting? What are you tolerating? And that even includes your appearance. Let me add that to it. Your appearance, your very appearance, the way you carry yourself, the way you know, you are the enemy to your own progress. You know, we talk about personal development. That includes your image. That includes your outlook. You know, talking to people that are dead, you know, to give you having a mentor in every area of your life. So, you know, this is very, very powerful, because if you look at where you are now today, just take a look at 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. What progress has been made from that time to today? If you don't change, you already know what it's going to be like in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. You don't even need Oracle. You already know it. So it's either you change, you have to change. Otherwise, there will be no change. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
I didn't know that you're actually a good student of mine like that. Because it is true. I didn't know that. I've obviously spoken to you about it before. Yes. Look at the situation and think of the worst case scenario and deal with that. Because if you deal with that, then everything else is easy. And I love what Mr. Claire said there. That is why I believe, you know me, I call God the universe. Universe, God, I interchange them. That's why I believe the universe gave us the ability to imagine, so that you can live the scenario before it happens, so that you can decide and plan it. And honestly, it has happened to me so many times that when that scenario happens, you find yourself, I know exactly what to do here, because you've done it. People in sports do this. People in sports, even when I was playing football, the only goals I scored are the only goals I visualized. Mr. Clay, could you Mr. Honestly, every goal I scored when I was playing football, because I used to be right back, so I'm not near the goal. So usually, it's either gonna be a corner, or we move forward or ahead, you know. And Mr. Clay, do you notice that I remember that time very clearly, that the night before I'll be jumping and I'll be jumping and the night before, like, you know, I'll be like, okay, when the ball is coming like this, I will. And Mr. Clay, do you know the next day the ball will be coming exactly the way I visualized it, and then I'll be like, right, it's time. Slow motion. Boom. Then I'll score. And I'll be happy because I've already seen it before. It's the same with success, with finances, with relationship, in life. You get what you plan for. You get and experience what you plan for. So we have met the enemy. The worst enemy is us. And the moment we can embrace that, then hey, we're now powerful. Because we know everybody will do their own thing, but what matters is what we do. Everybody will do their own thing. What matters is what we do. Mr. Clay.
No, that is, I like that story of the header.
we don't have slow motion, so we do it ourselves.
That's powerful. That's powerful, and you know, that is the power of this world. You know, we should all be having a blast. They always tell us that, you know, your world, you can design your world, you can create your world by dream building. What do you want? What do you want your life to be like? Imagine it, see it, live it, taste it. Go to very details. Don't just be fluffy about it. You know, write it down. Be detailed about it. I want a new car. What color? What make? How much is it? You know, go to as much detail as possible, so that the universe can bring it to you. You know, and you can be there to collect it.
Absolutely.
You know? So you need to be knowing that is all in your control as well. That is in your control. If you want to leave Nigeria, you want to go to abroad, abroad is not going anywhere. What they've picked you is this: where you are is actually paradise. Abroad is not going anywhere. These guys are suffering in these countries. You don't see it, and you can't understand it. But you think the way they're suffering, you want to suffer a bit. Yeah, you will. You know, that's what the universe will give you. You will suffer the same way they're suffering. Look at Hush Puppy. The latest is he's now pleaded guilty. I haven't lived Gucci life. I haven't been the high life. Now plead guilty. 20 years. So he'll be out in 10 on good behavior. You know, I hope for his sake. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? When he could have built that without all that baggage, when he could have had it without all that hanging over his head. Even his relief, I bet in prison is probably the first time he's actually truly slept, because he can't have been enjoying his so-called wealth because of the way he got there. You know? So you don't need to be a crook to have a wonderful life. You just need to dream it. You dream it, like Mr. Phil said, dream it, taste it, see yourself in it, you know, see yourself wherever you want to be, see yourself there, smell it. Even go to those places. Go online, research, know what you're asking for. See yourself there, imagine yourself there, surrounded there. And then you will start moving towards it, preparing yourself for it, knowing how you're going to sit in the first class. You know, when you sit there, you know how you're going to say, yeah, can I have, because you know the amazing thing here, you know, when you're in economy, when you apply economy, and they give you your little meal, you know, your little meal, and everybody's eating like this, you know, and then you know you have your starter, main course, and dessert all in one, like prison food, all in one tree. And then they'll throw the bread at you. You be like catching the bread. And the guy to your right, the guy to your left, everybody like, but when you go,
let me chip you before Mr. Clay gets himself right. Yeah, Mr. Clay is talking about life when there are levels, even when you're traveling. There are levels in life, and you will experience what you believe you deserve. Okay, and Mr. Clay has actually experienced first class, traveling first class, and traveling economy. It started with economy. So back to you, Mr. Clay.
So when you're, and they say, do you want to drink? You say, yeah, I want to drink Coke. They'll give you one can. And one, do you want to say, if you say, can I have another can? They look at you. I think this one's going to be a difficult customer. They'll mark you right there. You're asking for 2 Coke. Okay, let me check. They will say, let me check. Sorry, we don't have any left.
I love laughing, man.
But we'll go and check at the back and come back to, we'll go and check. So that's what you're used to, right? That's the economy. When you go business class, right? Business class is the next, okay, premium economy, business class. You know that there's unlimited. Imagine that. Unlimited starter, unlimited dessert, unlimited main course, unlimited. Just if you say, I like the taste of that, and can I have another one? They'll bring it to you. Unlimited. And then
none of this squeezing each other, none of this all on the same tray.
You know the other thing, when they bring the food, they will actually help you. They will help you lay your table. They will bring the dessert first. They bring their starter first. Not everything together.
I'm laughing because I've got all those things together. I got used to them, but Mr. Clay, carry on.
They bring your starter first. They will let you enjoy your starter. You will enjoy your meal. Then they'll bring the main course. They'll bring everything after one another. And the amazing thing is when you have all these options, you don't even want to eat all of it. It's only when you're economy that you think like, I want another one. I want another one. I'm not satisfied. I want another one. Do you have any more chicken? No, we don't have any more chicken. Like they will look at you. You don't have any more chicken. But if you're there, they will bring you food, and you'll be like, I can't eat anymore. I don't even want it. The food is not even nice. Because when you step out of the plane, you go to a restaurant. There are levels to this game. Oh. There are levels. Oh. Hey, people, there are levels. Oh. I start saying that the taste is not even as good as I thought. So it goes back to you. What are you dreaming? What did you wake up this morning dreaming? Are you satisfied with your life? If you're not, God, the universe, whatever you want to call him, has given you the ability to change it. And if it's taking too long, it's because you're not changing. If it's taking too long, the fault is with you. So you need to get dreaming big, dreaming fast, dreaming hard. Dreaming. The more you imagine it, how many hours did you imagine it today? Let me ask you. Hours? What do you mean? Imagine it. Maybe 2 minutes. Then that's not going to help you bring it closer quick. If you imagine it you're awake for 8 hours, 7 hours, how many hours are you awake for? You should be dreaming it all the time. So dreaming is something that you're tasting it.
We're going to do a separate episode on dream building because what Mr. Kane is talking about there is very important. But let's touch a bit about it. Mr. Kane, I'll let you finish. Carry on, please.
So that is something you need to commit yourself to vigorously. Because most of these guys that want to be rich, they don't know what rich is. So they steal the money. Then it becomes something that is fleeting. Then you become a world-renowned criminal. And everybody, you have to spoil your name. And then the price you paid for the wealth is not even worth it. Back to you, Mr. Phil.
And very quickly, I hope I don't forget what I was going to say earlier. But you see, what Mr. Clay described there, so that means that if they go about it and go about it in a way that will not create the real result, they go by stealing, they go by faking it, whatever, they don't even experience the real thing that they're going for. They never experience it. Let me put it that way. They never experience it. Because while they were so-called experiencing it, at the back of their mind, they know I'm fake. They know I'm a thief. At the back of their mind, I'm not safe. I've got this thing chasing me. I've got that thing chasing me. Yes, in front of you, they're like, oh, we're balling, we're ballers. It's all an act because it's not real. But what Mr. Claire was talking about earlier that I didn't want to forget is the fact that when he was saying that, write it down, make it real. You might not know how it's going to happen, but write it down. Put as much detail as you can. Believe it or not, we grew up in Nigeria. Let's start with Nigeria. I dreamt about coming to the UK. I dreamt about it. I spoke to people about it. It was not a good idea, but I did speak to people about it. And so it was something that I dreamt about, wrote about, spoke about. Then it happened. Yes, we have a path to come here, but that's not the only time. That's not the only thing that it worked on. Every promotion, every job, everything, like even getting married, all of it was dreamed or dreamt. Correcting my own English. All of it was dreamt. There's power in you deciding what you want and working on it to make it very real, crystal clear to you. Because guess what? I can guarantee you, one way or another, you will experience what you crystallize, what you clarify, what you made real. You will experience it. That's the power that the universe has placed in your hands. So when we say we've met the enemy is you saying, oh, it's that person's fault. Oh, it's Nigeria now. We keep telling you. We told you that really the world is now a global market. That means that you don't have to restrict yourself to Nigerian economy anymore. So if you're still restricting yourself to only Nigerian economy, guess who the enemy is? Guess who the enemy is? We have met the enemy. And he is who? I tell myself every day that Mr. Phil, you have met the enemy and he is you. So if you don't want to have an enemy in your life, it's very easy. Become your own friend. How do you become your own friend?
At least, Abi, at least. There's enough enemies out there, at least. Don't be +1. Remove yourself from that column. If that queue of enemies, come out of the queue of your own enemies and stand on the other side and say, I'm a friend. I'm a friend.
Like Mr. Clay said, at least be your own friend. How do you be your friend? Do what you need to do when you need to do it. Be your friend by reading the books. Be your friend by participating in the disciplines that you know. If you need to wake up early, go to bed late, pay the price, be your friend by doing that. Be your friend by writing these things down that we say. Be your friend by reading all these titles that we say you should read. Be your friend by watching all these videos that we say you should watch. Be your own friend by writing in the comments of this video and saying, this is my question. Can you help me? This is what I need. Can you, when I say need, not money. We're not doing dash money. Remember, we've moved away from that. We're now in earn money. Ask questions that will empower you. If you don't want to do that, you know the things that you need to be doing that you're not doing right now. Start with those. Am I saying I'm perfect? Is Mr. Claire saying it's perfect? No, we're not saying we're perfect. But guess what we're saying? We're on the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you ask me right now, Mr. Phil, what do you need to improve in your life? I will tell you, I need to improve this, I need to improve that, I need to. But Mr. Phil, you're doing this much. You're ahead. Yeah, I'm ahead. I'm doing this much, but there's much more I can do. That's why we call it a journey. You don't arrive, you get better. What did I say? You don't arrive, you get better. Because no matter how good you get, you can be better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, Mr. Clay is talking about traveling business class. That was a goal he set himself. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me. I just found out when we got to the airport that it was going on another queue. And there was no queue where he was going.
Yeah.
Again, guess what happened there? He didn't even have to ask anybody's permission. He just did. So that is the power you have. So what have we done now? We've revealed to you the power you have. And the power that you have is in your hands. Because the only person you can control is you. But that power is so powerful enough that it affects everything else. What did they say about, they said, the world gets out of the way of the man who knows where he's going. I think that's the saying.
Yes,
the world gets out of the way of the man or woman who knows where he's going. You know what? Let me give you that scenario. You want to move this way, you're blocked. You want to move that way, you're blocked. You want to move this way, you want to go this way, you're blocked. You want to go, you're blocked. You're blocked. Everywhere you're blocked. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why you're blocked? Because you don't know where you're going.
yeah.
Because the moment you know clearly, like Mr. Clay said, you've written it, I'm going this direction. This is the price I'm going to pay for this direction. This is how I'm going to maneuver in this direction. This is what I'm going to go and do in this direction. This is what I intend to do in this direction. Excuse me. Guess what? Suddenly, when you move, the world just goes, wait. We can't stop this one. This one, we can't stop this one. Get out of his way.
This
or
one
it
is
will blow
serious.
you down.
This one is serious. They will make way for you.
They
The
will
world
make
will
way for you. As a matter of fact, they will open the door. Yes, come this way, sir. This way, sir. They will open the door for you. You'll be like, you were the same one that were blocking me before. No, not us. Oh. Why? Because they're dealing with somebody different. Make sure you're that person that is different. Again, who do you blame? Is it them blocking you or you not knowing where you're going? Who do you blame? We have met the enemy. And he is us, Mr. Kwe. Let's round up.
Yes, sir. Stop being your own enemy and start becoming your own best friend. Stop being your own enemy and start becoming your own best friend. Wake up every morning and say, I am my own best friend. I will subject myself to the disciplines, to these simple things. Dream about where you want to be. Read the books. Listen to the tapes. Associate with people of like minds. Ditch all those friends, all those so-called friends that are helping you imagine and shape your current situation. Forget about them. Change them to somebody that is helping you dream and imagine the things you want, where you want to be. You know, there's no point being with people that are taking you back. You need to go with people that are taking you forward. So look at your friends. Look at them. Are these people moving me forward or are they bringing me back? You have to you know. So on that note, Mr. Phil.
Mr. Clay is out. Thank you, Mr. Clay. What Mr. Clay is saying there is very important because you see, the people around you, if you let them shape your life, you'll be where you are. If they're not engaging in the disciplines that you're engaging, if they're not looking to go in the direction that you are looking to go, then all they can be is a hindrance. Because guess what? They don't want you to leave them behind. But this is the funny thing about it, though. If you stay there with them and you say, I'm staying because I love you people and I don't want to leave you behind, they'll be the same people that will blame you and they will curse you out. They will curse you out for remaining with them. You'll be like, well, I was holding myself back for you. They'll be like, look at this idiot, look at this crazy idiot. They will curse you. But if you move on, that is the greatest favor you can do them. Leave them behind if you need to. Because you leaving them behind will now be the greatest motivation for even them. If you don't, and you have the ability that we're talking about, you will hate yourself with the regrets. And again, they will curse you. These same people will curse you and they will say you are a liar. You couldn't do it. You'll be like, me. They'll be like, yes, you. But once you've done it, they'll be like, I respect you. So don't even think you're doing anybody any favor holding yourself back. Because sometimes we could fall into that messiah complex as well. I want to save everybody. No. Save you. That's the way you can be helpful to others. So I love this topic, actually. And I love what, we've been able to bring out. Because, like Mr. Claire said, be your own best friend. I love that when he said that. Don't just be your friend. Be your best friend. Now, if you have any disagreements, put it in the comments. If you have any disagreement, Mr. Claire, you're talking bull. Write it in the comment. We encourage and we invite that. However, if you don't have any objections, then go change your life. Because the only person that can is you. On that note, God bless. Speak to you all. Speak to you all next time.